All right, my man. So we're headed to the lightweight division today to talk about our rankings dispute because there's a man who is about to enter the top 15 who was not there yesterday, who a lot of people probably did not expect him to be there. I'm not going to lie, man. He is one of the most impressive sleeper dark horse fighters who is storming on the scene, who, when I saw him fight this weekend, and performed the way he did, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's that one guy. I was like, that's that one dude who's just whooping everyone's ass. Like, oh, I completely forgot about that dude, right? Which is interesting because you shouldn't be forgetting about dudes who are just starching people, right? Like, generally speaking, you should remember them. He was noteworthy this week, and he was noteworthy not for a good reason. It was for missing weight, actually. I'm talking about Joel Alvarez, man. I'm talking about a man representing Spain, a man who has let me see right here. Actually, I got the stat on here. A man who it looks like maintains a 100% finish rate, my man. He has 19 wins in his MMA career. 100% finish rate. 4-1 in the UFC. Nobody knows who the hell this man is, but his name is Joel Alvarez, and he just beat the brakes off of Thiago Moises in under a round, man. It was beautiful violence, but at the same time, it was very stunning to see a man who just went 4 rounds with Islam Makhachev, one of the best to do it right now, get starched so quickly against Joel Alvarez. So I want to talk about this man's record real fast, man. He hasn't really fought too many notable names, except his UFC debut, who was against another killer who we love to talk about here, Damir Ismagulov, right? So he loses there. No, you're not going to win against that man. He's ragdolling anybody. Come on, we already know he's a killer. If you watch this show, you know how dangerous he is, right? He gets another win after that, not notable name. He fights Joe Duffy. Guillotine chokes Joe Duffy. We're talking about Joe Duffy here, man. I mean, that's respect right there. Okay, we got a little something here. He fights Alexander Yakovlev, armbar. Cool. Still not the most known right there. And then he gets this Thiago Moises win, right? So finish. I mean, all the fights before, finish, triangles, darces. Basically, he's a submission specialist, man. I think in his 19 finishes, he has like 16 by submission, right? So he's killing the game. He's dangerous, clearly. Needs to make weight, right? You know, I mean, you can't really. He probably would have had a performance bonus had he made weight, so that's on him right there. But the point is, you just knocked out a man. You're known for your submission. You just knocked out a man, standing elbows and uppercuts, right? For Thiago Moises, they had to call it. Dude was on stilts, on shaky legs, right? And you're not known as the knockout artist, so it goes to show you're multifaceted. You're a dangerous man. But the question here, AJ, and I know it's apples to oranges in some respect here, but he's going to enter at least number 15, right? You beat Thiago Moises. Thiago Moises is ranked number 15 by the UFC consensus, 15 by me, and 15 by you. Across the board, 15. But if Islam Makhachev got a big bump in his ranking because he beat Thiago Moises, right? Because before his last one against Dan Hooker, what did he get bumped up to, like 7, 8, something like that? Is it not hypocritical to say, oh, Joel Alvarez, well, you only beat Thiago Moises, so you just go to 15. He beat Thiago Moises in a better, faster, more dominating and devastating fashion than Islam Makhachev did. I'm just saying, for the sake of fairness here, because, I'm all about, egalitarianism and all that, and the sake of just, let's keep it fair. Do you think he should get a bigger bump than just being at number 15? I mean, Joel Alvarez looks like a killer, 100% finish rate, 4-1 in the UFC, brother. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly right here, Derek. I think he should. I think I'm looking at my top 15 right now, and I'm thinking like, all right, so Islam Makhachev, I got him number 5. You got him number 4. UFC is number 4. And you take on Joel Alvarez. You're like, all right, who can he beat here in my top? Let's just say we're going under Islam Makhachev and below. Dan Hooker, Greg Gillespie, all these people that I'm looking at. He looks like he can beat a lot of these dudes coming forward, man. There's a lot of wiggle room that Joel Alvarez has because, yeah, dude, this dude is an absolute killer. Being able to get it done like that against Thiago Moises was absolutely impressive. And I don't know what – I'm trying to think of the way, like, why it is so hypocritical because you're right, man. But Makhachev got bumped up real high against that Thiago Moises fight. And a lot of people are starting to think like, okay. I mean, it's not that impressive that Alvarez went and did this. And like, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that he got beat by Makhachev and then it's like, okay, he's not that good. But then you actually ragdoll this dude. He's still, Moises is still an absolute killer out there. Lest we not forget, this dude is an absolute headhunter, man. He can take you out no problem. It's going to be hard to rank him any higher than top 10 at least for me going forward, I'm probably going to have him a little bit lower than that. I honestly don't know at the moment because this dude is an absolute killer going forward. What do you
Yeah.
think, Derek? Where do you see him lying, and how many of these people in our top 15 do you think he can beat pretty handily like he did Thiago Moises?
Well, it's interesting because I think there's some people who are really high in the top 10 who he could beat, but some people who are in my top 10 to 12 who he might not be able to beat, which is interesting because I'd love to see the test, right? So for an example, because I like to go down and buy it strategically, right? So Moises, can he beat him? Yeah, well, he already did. He beat the brakes off of him. All right, cool. Tony Ferguson, would he be able to beat El Kukui? It sucks to say, but at this stage of his career, probably, right? Armin Sarukian, that's where it gets interesting. I don't know. That'd be an interesting test because Sarukian has great wrestling, right? So you might be able to negate some of that submission pressure. He has really good striking. He's a pace guy, dangerous man. Nobody wants to fight him. I don't know. Then I go down to Conor McGregor, and I'm like, you know what, man? I don't want to throw dirt on the man who's built up so much of this UFC stuff, all the hype. Could he beat Conor? And listen, I might even get roasted, get killed up in the comments for this, man. Yeah, maybe, probably. I mean, with the performance that he put on, like, has he fought these Conor McGregor-esque fighters? No. But, I mean, let's just say, I mean, come on, man. I don't know. Maybe that one's a stretch, so I'll disregard that. But I'm just saying, is it possible? Listen, maybe. I'm just saying. RDA, could he beat him? I mean, I know that's your boy. That's my boy too. But could he? He's huge. Here's the other thing, man. This dude, Joel Alvarez, is like 6'3", fighting at 155 pounds. Like, obviously, he couldn't make the weight this time around. He's such a huge man. So, I mean, when it comes down to it, AJ, I just think that there's going to be something that's going to have to get figured out here. We can keep going down the list, right? Gregor Gillespie, could he beat him? I actually don't know. That might be too much of a test for Gregor. Gregor is a really, 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 really good fucking prospect, or contender, excuse me. Rinse those words out of my mouth. Prospect, what am I talking about? Gregor is the real deal. But yeah, man, so somewhere in between number 15 and number 10, maybe. I think he will end up lying in my rankings personally. AJ, where do you kind of see him going? You said it's kind of the same thing, right? It'd be hard to put him inside the top 10, right?
Yeah, it's hard to put him anywhere above top 10, but I can easily see him in that 10 to 15 range. I mean, his skill level is there. His skill level matches very well with that top 10 to top 15. It's just who can he beat within the matchup, because the styles make the fights really going forward. And against hard wrestlers, we saw like in his UFC debut, it's a little bit harder to get it done. So is he going to get it done against those hard wrestlers, or is he going to get it done to a real deal striker? I'm honestly with you, Derek. I might catch some heat for this as well, but I do think he can beat McNuggets going forward. You know, we might catch some flack, but hey, man, I do think he has the skills to get it done. There's a lot of them up there that are really good tests. I'm excited to see where this dude's future, where Alvarez's future lies going forward.